In this video, I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to find the signs of your factors faster rather than guessing. If you're trying to learn how to factor, this is not the video for you, and you should look to one of my referred videos in the past. Now let's go ahead and get started. So I went ahead and wrote down 4 quadratic factoring problems that you need to solve. So there is something very special about each of these 4 problems that you probably haven't realized. And it has to do with the signs of both the second and the last number. So if you're able to notice these patterns, then you're going to be able to find the signs of your two factors much more quickly. So let's go ahead and get started with the first case. When you notice that the second number is positive and the third number is positive, I guarantee you that both factors are positive. And I can show this when we actually factor this expression. So we need to find two numbers that multiply to 16 and add to 10. Now, just from the tip that I've just told you, if both these numbers are positive, I guarantee you both factors are positive. And now I only need to think of what are the two numbers that multiply to 16 and add to 10, which in this case is 2 and 8. Because you're going to notice many different sign combinations with all of these problems. And the next case is going to be when your second number is positive and your last number is negative. So if you ever see, and this is very important, if the second number is positive and the last number is negative, what you need to notice is your bigger number is positive while your smaller number is going to be negative. And this is going to help to eliminate a lot of the guesswork when you're trying to figure out where to put the sign. So for example, I need to find two numbers that multiply to negative 12, but add to positive 1. And this is a common issue where many students try to figure out, well, I need to figure out, what number to make bigger and what number to make smaller. Now, I've just told you the bigger of the two factors must be positive, which is 4 in this case, and the smaller of the two numbers must be negative in order for me to get the middle number as positive. Now, the third case is going to be very similar to the second case because now my second number is negative and my third number is also negative. We're going to switch up the case of the second problem, where now your bigger number is negative and now your smaller number is positive. So you're still going to end up having one negative value, one positive value, except the bigger number is now going to be the negative number instead. So once again, two numbers that multiply to negative 27 and add to negative 6, that is going to be negative 9 and positive 3, because I must have one negative and I must have one positive. Now, the final part of this method is notice that when your second number is negative and your third or last number is positive. This is actually going to be very similar to the first case where you're going to have both factors as negative. So this is usually the very counterintuitive one because when you think about if I'm trying to multiply to a positive number, what tends to happen is you think that's probably not possible because if I need to add to a negative number, I need to find some way in order to get a positive number in there. But many students forget that if you have two negative numbers and you multiply them together, that actually gives you back the positive number. But when you add them, you still retain a negative number back. So in this case, if I know for a fact that this rule will work, I know that I'm going to have two negative numbers, and now I just think about, okay, well, what does what two numbers basically add to 13, and then I'll attach the minus later on, which in this case is -9 and -4. So to recap the techniques, if you notice both signs are positive, your factors will be positive. If your second number is positive and your third number is negative, your bigger factor will be positive and your smaller factor will be negative. You'll see the opposite of this when you still see the last number as negative, but now the second number is also negative. Don't be fooled. You don't do two negative factors. Only the bigger factor will be negative and the smaller factor will be positive. Finally, for the last case where the second number is negative and the last number is positive, you're going to have both factors as negative.